Salutations, YouTube. Welcome back to another replay analysis. Here today, we're going to be analyzing Bubba Ruza submitted an analysis. They are playing some 2v2 and they are Champion 3, so pretty highly ranked. And Champion 3 is a rank where you're pretty good, but there are a ton of little mistakes that are holding you back from getting to the next level. So excited to get into it. Before we do, if you guys are interested in getting yourself an analysis like the one you're about to watch, read the description down below. All the details are there on how to do so, as well as a video tutorial on how to share replay files for your convenience. Thank you so much for watching. Let's get into it. All right. See how kickoff looks. Not a bad kickoff. Good job. Loose grab. Okay, are we partied up? No, we're solo queued. So here, be careful about instantly pushing this. It's not bad. It's not terrible, but our teammate could definitely be going for this. So I would take a second to, what I would do is turn out this direction first before going for the ball. That'll give us the option of seeing our teammate. If our teammate decides to go for this, maybe they want to go for a pass off the corner for you, who would be looping back to take a shot or maintain pressure. But we know that we just did the kickoff, right? And we've taken the time to go grab boost. Meanwhile, our teammate was cheating up behind us. You can't see that arrow I'm drawing, but cheating up behind us, right? So we know our teammate is off over here somewhere. So they're facing the play and they can very well go for this ball. So naturally what I would do instinctually is not grab this boost and immediately turn, because by doing that, we're not creating an angle where we can see if our teammate is going for the ball. And so we're just increasing the likelihood of us double committing. So I would turn defensively, and then if we see that our teammate is leaving the ball for us, then we can go for it. Just eliminating the chance of us double committing there. Yeah, and then this double commit is on you for sure. So far we're opening up a lot of possibilities for double commits based on our positioning. So if we go back, so that was, mistake number one. We turned the wrong direction. And then here, after we decide to not go and challenge this on the wall, right? He hits the ball up. We can go for this. If you want to, you can turn and go for this. But after you decide not to, I want to see you swing out this direction. Swing out towards midfield and go rotate back post. So we're going to do this, right? After we decide not to go up and challenge this ball, we're going to clear out for our teammate who's behind us, waiting to have their opportunity to go. We're going to go boom, swing out, pick up pads as we're swinging out to stay as high on boost as we can. One, this gets us out of our teammate's way, right? If they're going to go for this ball, they're going to be coming in this lane of the field. Maybe he wants to drive up the sidewall and challenge. Maybe he wants to aerial here. Maybe he wants to drive on the ground for a little bit longer before aerialing. You being in his lane where he needs to be to challenge, you're just getting in his way. Two, the mental aspect. A lot of the time, if you are rotating into the play, and again, rotating into the lane that our teammate wants to go to challenge, your teammate's not going to go because they are afraid of bumping into you, or they're afraid of the fact that maybe you're going to turn. They can't really tell if you're going to turn at any point in time because you're not making your intentions clear by rotating out away from the play so that they can go. So you're not making your intention clear when you rotate into the play. At any point in time, in your teammate's point of view, at any point in time, you could turn on this, and he doesn't want to overcommit. He doesn't want to double commit, so he's likely to hesitate and not go. And then third, another benefit of rotating out away from the play is it creates an angle where we can see everything that's going on, right? If we have our ball cam on and we start rotating away from the play, boom, our vision opens up to where we can still see the player, we can see the ball, and then as our teammate drives up, we can see them, and we can sort of gain insight on how this play is going to develop from this point of view. right? We can see clearly if our teammate's going to get beat or if they're going to have a good 50 or if they're even going to cleanly beat the opponent. We can see that from this angle. But if we're rotating like this, we don't see our teammate until they get past us. It's a bit harder in this, you know, one-dimensional plane, one-dimensional field of view, you know, where one player is coming from this side of the ball and the other player is coming from this side of the ball, right? It's one-dimensional rather than seeing it from here to here. It's harder to tell who's going to win the 50-50. It's harder to tell where the 50 is going to go. So 3 reasons there, right? After we decide not to challenge, we want to rotate away from the play. Clear out, make our intentions clear for our teammate to be able to come and challenge. And then if our teammate gets beat, I guess there's a 4th benefit. I forgot to mention this one. I guess this isn't as big of a benefit. This is where 2v2 is a bit more, what's the word or what's the phrase? Forgiving on rotating into the play. If our teammate gets beat, right? The ball gets over them. If we're rotated out this way, we're in a perfect head-on, straightforward position to collect the ball. But, you know, the argument can be made that if your teammate gets beat and you're in this position, you also have a pretty decent play. It depends on how your teammate gets beat. If our teammate gets beat and the ball hits the ground, it's pretty easy to deal with coming from this angle. But if our teammate gets beat and it bounces off the corner wall and bounces mid, or bounces off the backboard and bounces mid, I would much rather be defending that from this angle where I can see everything and my opponents versus defending that from this angle where I have to choose to only see the ball and not my opponents by having ball cam on, or I turn ball cam off and I can see my opponents but not the ball. So then when I go for the ball, I have to sort of use the ball indicator on the ground and hope that I time my jump correctly to meet the ball in the air at the right time to hit it and not whiff. But by rotating out of the play, you don't have to make that decision. You can see both the ball and your opponent when you inevitably have to go challenge. So there's really 3 or 4 pros to rotating away here versus the maybe 1 pro of rotating into the play, which is if the ball does cleanly land on the ground for you to catch, then you can play it out this direction into more open space. Whereas if you have to challenge the ball this direction, in the same direction that he just beat your teammate, he might be able to challenge you again. So that's like the one caveat that you could make an argument of rotating into the play, is you get to control the ball into more open space versus kind of playing it back into the opponents. But as you get a little bit faster and can make slightly, you know, good enough controlled touches, you should be able to play the ball past this guy as he's landing and follow it up. Anyways, that was a very long explanation. We're 5 seconds into the video, but I really wanted to hammer on that point because a lot of people make this mistake. A lot of people rotate into the play in 2s and 3s. Again, it's more forgiving in 2s. In 3s, you never want to really do it. Almost never. In 2s, you can get away with it. But a lot of people fail to see the downsides to rotating into the play. So I really wanted to hammer that home. Okay, a little replay bug. Let's go ahead and rewatch that without the little camera glitch, hopefully. Nice. That was a good fake there. Nicely done. Yeah, so sort of faking that you're gonna hit it into towards that corner. He's getting ready to meet you over there, so he overshoots the ball once you fake. So really well done on that. And then really good first touch to set yourself up for a power shot. Nicely done. Okay. Giving this guy too much space here. So after this comes out, Right now, I would push this ball because you already know in this position, if you go for your corner boost, you're conceding possession automatically because you can't get to the corner boost and then challenge the ball before he can take possession. But if you just go for the ball here, especially since there's a line of pads perfectly in line for you to pick them up as you challenge, you can maintain a really solid amount of boost and challenge the ball at the same time. So there's really no reason not to. And I'm not saying that you have to dive at this ball, but you can push towards it, challenge or take possession if he does back off. Take a 50-50 if you need to. But we're giving ourselves a really good chance to come out on offense if we go for this ball. And to top it off, this guy is last man. He's last man. So if anything, we should force this challenge solely on that. If you aren't last man and you would be challenging somebody who is last man, you should take that challenge every time, especially again in 2v2. In 3v3 as well, you should always challenge the last man. Get the last man to challenge you if you can. Beat the last man because as their name implies, they're the last man. They're the last line of defense. If you can beat them, if you can get the ball past them, you're in a really good spot to score. So if you're first man, challenging last man, take it. Oof, and that's just a goal against us because we didn't challenge back there. We gave him space and we gave him possession. You defended that well after the fact, but you shouldn't have been defending there in the first place. Nice. Good decision not to go for the mid boost. Teammate played that really passively. I think he should have took that across, but this works as well. Okay, let's see this. Okay, I'm fine with this. Good job. Okay. So honestly, what I would like to see here is a touch towards mid for a pass. It looks like your teammate was very not in the mindset for that, so it probably wouldn't have worked out if you did it. But what I first saw here was like, okay, I'm gonna go up and hit this to midfield because my teammate's rotating out behind them. They're probably not gonna see it coming. Your teammate, unfortunately, looks like he wouldn't have been ready for that. But I'm saying jump up, get a touch out this way. Ideally, he'd be seeing that as well, envisioning that as well, and turning back for a shot. But again, so far our mistakes are very recurring. So first, putting yourselves in position to end up double committing, and second, giving our opponent too much time and space. So we don't have a great offensive play here. This angle, right? You can't really go for a great double tap. Can't really go for a great like air dribble play or a flip reset or anything like that. And we also don't have enough time to wait for it to bounce to grab a ground play. But we definitely don't want to just give them the ball. So one of two things. Either get close enough that you can take a soft 50-50 here and try to buy time for our teammate to get in position to follow you up and maintain offense if the ball were to get past you. Or just throw a shot on net. Like, do something here. We don't want to just give up possession. Throw a shot on net, test the defense, make sure you keep them on their toes. And a shot here is scoreable if they let the ball in. So you've got that. Or again, like I said, get close and just take a 50-50, a soft 50-50. Don't commit super hard for it, right? Have a recovery in your back pocket ready to go as soon as you make the 50 if it's a losing 50-50. Or possibly you take a 50-50, it stays close to both of you, and you play it out again. You take another 50-50, or you try to find a way to work the ball around the first man. But those are your two options. Either take a shot here, put a shot on net. Make sure if you put a shot on net, it's got to be on net. Don't let it hit the backboard because then it's going to center out and your teammate's in a 1v1 or 1v2. So take a shot, but take a shot at least on target. Doesn't have to be a super hard shot. Placement is more important. You know, making sure it's on target is more important here than the power, because we're not expecting to score in this situation, but we can if they mess up. Just make sure you don't hit the backboard. That's the biggest thing here, because we don't want the ball to shoot off backboard and leave our teammate in a 1v1 or 1v2. Or again, just get close for a 50. Play it out from there. And this is a big win. Just spoiler alert for you guys watching. It is a big win. So I usually prefer when we submit either close games that we win or losing games. You know, maybe slight losing games. Because, I mean, typically if you win by a big margin, you probably played pretty well. There might not be a ton to point out, but so far there has been. So not a huge deal. But if I'm pointing out what I'm saying, what I kind of wanted to say there is, if I'm pointing something out as a mistake and then it doesn't develop as a mistake in the game, that doesn't mean it wasn't a mistake. Since this was a big win, we can probably infer or assume that these players he's playing against didn't play their best. They probably had a pretty bad game. Okay, let me go back. Got a little distracted as I wanted to point that out. Okay, I'm fine with this. Should be a goal, honestly. Shoot. Nicely done. Okay, that could have been a clean touch around him. No reason that we had to hit that into this guy. We had enough time and space to hit this around this guy. So boom. Take a touch on the left corner of our car, left front corner of our car to the left towards center field around this guy. Or even straight ahead. We can try to make a follow-up touch. You know, a high straight ahead touch. Again, probably just hitting it with the front of our car to get a little bounce over this guy. We had options. We had options on how we could play this past this guy without it being a 50-50, because the 50-50 just gives this guy a chance to go for the ball instantly and take possession when he didn't need to have that chance to begin with. We know our teammate, he just did the kickoff. We know he's going all the way to the mid boost, so he's gonna get beat by this guy if we take a 50-50, most likely. So yeah, we definitely had the time and space to hit this around this guy. That's a little unfortunate. I'm going to point it out, small detail, but we just lost our supersonic speed right before we flipped. Had we flipped before we lost our supersonic speed here, we could have got the boost and a touch on the ball and been in a little bit better of a position. Don't even think about that. I shouldn't have pointed that out. No reason you need to think about that. Not the cleanest touch. I mean, just a piece of advice. Speed flip into that 50-50, right? We're speed flipping to the right. We control this to the right, and we also angle our car straight at that boost, so we get the touch and the boost in one swoop. Might have just been a, you know, misflip. That was one of those situations in 2v2. In 3v3, this would be a huge mistake. This would be a misplay. This is what I'm talking about, where 2v2 is a bit more forgiving with rotating into the play. Here, not going for this ball and turning back towards our corner is a misplay in 3v3 every time. And in my opinion, some people will argue with that. If you watched our last video, apparently Jack will argue with that. I don't know. He might not argue with that in 3v3. He probably would, though. A lot of pros tend to do that nowadays. Does it make it right, even if they are pros? Does it make it the optimal play? But in 2v2, this is more forgiving. And why this is more forgiving in this scenario, right? In 3v3, I would be telling you, okay, you didn't go for this ball. Don't turn back into your corner, turning into the play. For the same reasons I pointed out earlier. Same exact reasons. I would want to see you rotate out, not there, but rotate to the back post let your teammate come in from this angle and you're rotating behind them like that. This is okay here because in this play, there's no real way that we could be getting in our teammate's way. If we look at this from our teammate's point of view, this is like specific to 2v2 and specific to this position in your corner like this. So notice our teammate here. Maybe don't pay attention to their positioning. It's kind of looking a little rough. It's looking very rough. It's looking very rough. But how do I put this? If he was positioned well, we go back to how he should be positioned here, rotating into the back post instead of going for the ball that you're already challenging, being here and then waiting for this play to develop here. Boom, this comes out. Okay. He can either come up and get the touch on this, or it's just a free ball, right? Even if you double committed for this, it wouldn't be bad. You know, because you're arriving to the ball at different times. So if he tries to go and you beat him, you're not like both hitting the ball to where you're going to 50-50 it badly and it's going to stay maybe in front of your net. And say this play didn't come out towards mid off the corner, say it hugged this back wall, he's got plenty of time to decide, maybe seeing this player. If this player is pushing for the shot here, he might decide, okay, I don't want my teammate to clear this across our net. I'm going to go for it and push it out this way. Even if that means, I do this a lot, even if that means taking the ball off of you, right? If you were trying to catch this ball across the net and I saw somebody coming to challenge in front of our net, I would take this ball off of you instantly. I'd be like, no, sir, we are not taking a 50-50 in front of our net. Thank you very much. And you're fine. Or if he sees nobody's over here, you've got a bunch of open space and a bunch of time, then I would let you take it. It's as simple as that. So in this play, you're not getting in your teammate's way. I don't know if I really made sense on explaining how this play is different than that one, like in terms of getting in your teammate's way. I think the biggest difference is that your teammate can wait in this position. He can wait to see how this play develops. So he doesn't need to have to go, like he doesn't have to go right now, or he didn't have to go yet to go back, right? If he's waiting here, doesn't have to go. He wouldn't be going, right? If you're in this position where I'm at, where he should be, and you see this, you shouldn't be going yet. You're waiting. You're waiting to see what Colosser does, and then you go from there. You can defend a shot, you can intercept a double tap, you can defend a pass from this position, anything. So there's no harm in you rotating into the play because he, one, psychologically isn't going to be affected by you rotating into the play because he wouldn't be hesitating anyways. He doesn't need to go, so you're not putting any hesitation into his mind. Two, if you double commit in this position, it's fine. One, you're in your corner. Two, you're arriving to the ball at different times. So either one of you hits this, both of you hit it into open space, essentially. You both come out with possession. Third reason why this play is different than the one upfield there, where we saw earlier. You're not getting in your teammate's way because anything that he would be going for here would either be defending a double tap. You're not in his way. Defending the midfield pass. You're not in his way. Defending a shot, you're not in his way. So you're just not in his way in this play by rotating back into the play. Doesn't mean you couldn't rotate out of the play here. 100% you could rotate out of the play and just to keep things simple for yourself, if you wanted to just generalize this to always rotate out of the play, you could. In my opinion, you would not get punished any more so by rotating out of the play than you would into the play. Every situation I've ever seen in these replay analysis where somebody rotates into the play and gets punished, I've always been able to see and point out how rotating out of the play would have prevented you from getting punished. And yeah, that's it. It's just once you get to the highest level, or like the top, 0.5% of players, that's when rotating into the play has the one like pro of potentially like maybe generating a play a slight bit faster, maybe, or maybe being able to play the ball into more open space. Like, it's super situational when rotating into the play is better than rotating out. And until you are at, I'm going to say GC2 plus, I would say you would not benefit from rotating into the play. Just blanket statement there. And I'm pretty confident in that. I don't think anyone below GC2 has that level of game sense yet to be able to identify when rotating into the play would be better. Nice. Way to stay with it. Okay, a little awkward there. So we're a little bit too far in front of the ball here. Maybe we're trying to position for a pass, but this is not even a good position for a pass either. We're just too far in front of the ball. Get behind the ball a little bit more. Your angle will be a lot better. Right? Get backed up a little bit so you can see the ball indicator on the ground. You can see your opponents in front of you. You can pass to mid still if you want with a little bit of air roll. And if you try to pass to mid like this, you're going to be like side flipping into the ball. It's going to be really weak and probably intercepted. So no reason we need to be like so side on / in front of the ball here. Nice flick. Okay. Yeah, we definitely have a really bad habit of giving our opponents too much space so far. This has now become the most repetitive mistake. I think this tallies 3 times now that we're giving our opponents too much space. The other 2 recurring mistakes that I pointed out earlier, which were I forget. Go back. You know what I'm talking about. Go back if you don't. Oh, double committing and rotating into the play, I think, were the other 2. Rotating into the play might not have been the other one I was pointing out. But those, I think, have tallied up twice. This one is now at 3 times that we've given too much space. Oh my god, this cord for my controller is pissing me off, man. You guys know what I'm talking about. When the cord that you plug your controller into just like shorts and disconnects constantly. That's what's happened to me. Come on, stupid cord. So here, we know that this ball is going to be playing out to the right, right? Look at the angle he's approaching this with. This ball is going to go this direction in some way. It's going to go some way in this direction. And we are giving him all the space in the world by going back to our opposite side corner boost. So not only is it bad that we're going to the back corner boost, which is giving him the entire field to work with, but we're also going to the opposite corner of where the ball is going to end up, which is giving him even more space, if that's even possible, right? So a really bad decision to go to this opposite side back corner boost. What we should be doing here instead is turning up field, grabbing pads and challenging or pressuring. So instead, let's do this. If I'm you in this position, we stay here, and I probably would have swung up and grabbed this pad. Probably grab this pad, and look at that, we're right in position for it. One more time. Try to play this out as realistically as possible if I'm you. So you decided to cheat, I'm fine with that. Boom. We're up in this position, waiting. Okay, we see that. Yep, I grabbed that pad. And then I may have gone for this pad. Maybe not, because you can hard clear it, so I want to get ready to turn back if possible, or if I need to. I'm probably lingering around here. maybe in between these two pads. And then that came out, like I said, and maybe have time to grab this pad to give ourselves a little bit of extra boost before going for a touch on this ball. Potentially, you know, depending on how it looks from your point of view when you're in this situation, you might just be able to grab this on the bounce, catch it, and then try to score. But instead, we gave him all the space in the world. He makes a bad play, and we're not there to punish it. And we even get scored on indirectly because of that bad play. Or it's indirectly, but almost directly because of that bad play, right? We gave him space. We didn't just have possession like we should have. We allowed him to get back to the ball by the time we could get to the ball, and we got dunked on his challenge really badly. And from there, everything leading up to that point in time pretty much was our fault. This is a little scary. Honestly, let's go back again. Okay, this is fine. I'm fine that you didn't like fly out of the top of the net going for the save here. It looked like you could have before, but that's kind of a stretch. This is fine. The only thing I'm going to say here is instead of trying to defend this from the middle of the net, on your landing off the top of the net, you should have been trying to position yourself off in the corner. Anytime you're defending a net, you do not want to be defending from the middle of the net. You want to be at one post facing the opposite post. So you could have gone to either corner. I'm just saying go to this corner because it was closer. And then once you get to this corner, you want to face the opposite post. That way, if he shoots it at you or above you, all you do is either jump or, like I said, he shot it at you. You don't have to do anything. If he shoots it in front of you, you drive forward and save it. You jump forward and save it. You have the entire net covered. By defending in the middle of the net, if he shoots a good shot to either side of you, you're not saving it. You got lucky. It's a bad shot. And, you know, on top of it not having any power, or any placement, it's right at you. Super easy save. This was like the worst shot he could have taken. And that's the only reason you saved it, really. And then another common, just while we're here talking about this, another common misplay people will make is defending from one post, also facing that same post. So imagine this play is over here. A lot of times people have a really bad habit of defending it like this, where again, you can save something shot right at you, but if they shoot it behind you at all, you're not saving it. So again, that's why we always start at one post and face the opposite post. Nice ball. And staying mid for the pass afterwards because we see that our teammate can't score it. So good job. Don't overcommit for that shot. Nicely done. Beautiful. Okay, this is fine. Let me see that again, actually. It looks awkward. This is not a position that I would expect myself to be in. I would be driving at this ball. Drive at this ball here. Because what can happen here is he either comes at this for a controlled play or a hit across the corner, in which case driving at this, you can take that challenge, you can 50 him, or you can even just demo him instead. Or bump him off the ball. Any of those are good. But two, if he decides to not instantly go for the ball and he takes his time to go for the mid boost, then you now have possession. He's forfeited possession for boost. And at that point, you just get the ball for free. Or you pushing the ball makes him second guess pushing, and it gives you space. And again, you get the ball for free. So you had no reason to not go for the ball here. And there was a lot of plus sides to just pushing this. Yeah, I think I think is just a clean beat, right? By the time he hits this ball, you could have played it around him already along the sidewall. Yeah, for sure. But again, giving too much space. That one wasn't as bad as the other ones we've seen, though. Good patience there, like, way to stay calm on defense. Almost get rewarded for it. Much better job on defense that time. We swung out to the post and defended the opposite post. Good job. Pretty weak touch. We wanted the long shot, didn't really get it, but it's alright. Can we make a more effective play here or not? No, I'm fine with that. This is fine. If you try to take time there, Naked's gonna have time to come and challenge you. Okay, small detail. Here, we have no reason to be defending from the back wall here. Just don't put yourself on the back wall to begin with. That's how, you know, something does come across the net and we accidentally either own goal or just miss the clear by putting ourselves in a bad position for no reason. We should be on the ground here. Because, I mean, what are we defending from the back wall here? I guess we're trying to defend if he goes up the backboard, maybe. We're ready to turn up the backboard and challenge. Yeah, so maybe I take that back. I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong here. I didn't foresee that happening. That's... Yeah, I'll let it go. I'll let it go. I'm thinking to myself, well, if he goes backboard, our teammate can probably challenge. That's such a low percent chance that this turns into something bad that I'll let it, you know, I will accept. Maybe you did think about him going backboard and so you're trying to be ready to go backboard. Oh, yep. I was gonna say, don't go for that pass. It was defended. We were last man. Don't want to overcommit for a pass. Ooh, good try on the low 50. Honestly, yeah, just got to make sure we're closer to the ball here and we would actually get this low 50. And you could even flip into it as well. There's no harm in flipping into this if we're trying to take a low 50. And it would have, like, secured it. Put it in the bag, secured it. Oh, good idea. I think that's just a goal. Nice. Okay. Should be a goal again. Nicely done. Like I said, opponents aren't having their best game. Giving you a lot of space as much as you're giving them a lot of space, they're also giving you a lot of space. I do want to see you get out more towards midfield here. The only thing you have to watch for is this opponent who's going to want to demo you if they see you get in front of them in midfield. So just make sure you stay behind this player as you rotate towards midfield so that they can't bump you. But I think what's most likely to happen here is either this 50-50 gets killed right in front of the net, in which case we can be in position to follow it, to score it, or it comes out this direction more often than not. And if it comes out in this direction, it's just so much open space that we can get back to it if we're covering more this area. If it goes that way or it stays in front of the net, we're here for it before our opponent. And if it goes this way, we can get there and pressure it or challenge it before our opponent. But if we're out here, the only thing that we can get to before our opponent is if the ball comes out this way. So I do want to see you get more midfield. Again, stay behind this player so he can't bump you or demo you until you see him eventually, you know, push out this direction. Then you can get in front, you know, push up more. Ooh, close. Teammate should have been there for that. That's okay though. You're already up 3 goals. Don't need any more. Nice. Happens to the best of us. It's a good fake challenge. Not worth committing there. Taking a long shot. I mean, game's already over and you do score off of it, of course. But if the score, you know, in a different world where like this game is not already won, you would want to take possession of this ball. Take the 1v1. Because a long shot here should be easily saved. And we would effectively just be giving away possession. I'm sure you would probably understand that. You're probably just taking a shot because the game's already over. But maybe there's a chance that you actually thought this was the best play to make. Right, if we shoot here, our opponent's already back. He should be saving this and getting possession out of his corner. But if we take the 1v1, take it for a dribble and a flick or an air dribble bump, much more threatening play. And that's the game. So, you know, it was a big win, but we still had a lot to point out. Honestly, it was like 3 recurring mistakes, which is a good thing, I would say, because 3 mistakes isn't that many. Even though I had a lot to say, it was like the same stuff for the most part. So 1, try to put yourself in less positions where it's more likely that you could end up double committing with your teammate, right? At the start of the game, off that kickoff, every situation is going to be a little bit different. But on that particular kickoff, the ball was close enough that our teammate could have made the choice to stay on it. And so we can't just grab the boost and hard commit for going for the ball. We have to make sure we're not going to be committing for the same ball as our teammate. And then also rotating into the play, put us in a position to double commit. And not only, you know, was that the same issue where we're putting ourselves in position to double commit, but that's its own mistake in and of itself, rotating into the play. For all those reasons I had pointed out. Third, I don't remember if there was another recurring mistake. I might be missing one. I think thirdly was giving our opponents way too much space in a couple situations. And I already, you know, pointed all that stuff out, so I'm not going to go over it again. I hope you learned something. You looked really good for Champ 3. I'm not going to lie. You look like you definitely probably deranked. You probably had a bad session and fell in rank. At least that's what it looked like to me, honestly. Looked like you could be a GC1, maybe even a GC2. In 3v3, I think you could be a GC2. In 2v2, GC2s look a little better, I think. 2v2 demands a little bit more precision than what you displayed to be GC2, in my opinion. But in 3v3, you look like you definitely got the mechanics to be a GC2. Yeah, bottom line, you looked really good for Champ 3, for sure. Work on those couple mistakes, and I think you're on your way to being just fine from that. At that point, once you iron out those mistakes, at that point, you could submit another analysis. We could go over some really, at that point, it's just really small, minute details in the gameplay about optimizing every little thing. And that's what will get you from that GC2 point to SSL. Really just becomes about optimizing everything at that point. That's it, guys. If you learned something, leave a like on the video for me. Comment down below what you learned, or if you caught something that maybe I missed, or if you disagreed with something. Let me know in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thank you guys all so much for making it to the end of the video. See you in the next one. Peace.